Hey guys, it's Goma. I've gone and built a little fire on my deck, which maybe wasn't a good idea. I was just trying to burn up some, sticks and trash around the yard. But I might be setting my stuff on fire. My potatoes are mad. Look at their plants are so intelligent. Look at the leaves that have turned. They've got their leaves turned up and spread out, and like the underside turned up because it got a little warm over there. Isn't that crazy? I think that's crazy, but anyway, I just want to talk to you briefly about what's on my mind today, because I have agreed to do so. So today for me, let me start this way. I woke up from a dream, which was a dream unlike I've ever had before. I dream, but I don't remember it, or I lose it immediately when I wake up, generally. But last night I dreamt of, and it's hard to describe it, but like a golden light being. It was like a pure gold, like a clear gold, but not just golden, and sparkling, and just a beautiful soft gold being. And I don't know what kind of being it was. I don't know who it was, but it just kind of floated into my vision, real slowly, real gently. Just kind of, it was just bringing love, and it was a message that I was going higher, for whatever that means. And then after that, I just remember swirling around in some way, just swirling around in pure peace and bliss, and just swimming in it. And I don't know where I was. I don't know what was happening, but I was just kind of flowing in a current of peace and bliss. And also during that, or after that, or before that, I don't know, kind of all at the same time, I was in a desert, but it was not a dry desert, like a hot, dry, miserable desert. I was kind of swimming through the sand and looking for things, and I knew that I was in the Middle East. I knew it had to do with the Hebrews. And then what I remember when I woke up, or right before I woke up, was I was kind of coming out of this swirling, intimate, blissful, flowing, swimming, whatever I was doing. And I was kind of coming out of that gently, and there was someone that was guiding me, kind of leading me in and out. And along came a person who I only know from the internet, but he walked up, and he had a blindfold on, and he said, he got close to me, but he couldn't see me, and he said, "Someone just returned from heaven." And that was me, I guess. I knew it was me, but I don't have any recollection of, going anywhere except, definitely. So how do you say going, not going anywhere, but definitely being taken somewhere? So I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I've never had a dream like that. I've never, it was just a very bizarre thing, the whole thing. And I woke up from that with still having the effects of that bliss and that peace and that just all-consuming love. And I woke up that way. So, it was a good way to wake up. It turned out to be a good thing. And it was a confirmation, really, from the Father of where things are with me, where I am. And confirmation, really, I wasn't expecting or anticipating. But anyway, that is what started my day. And then throughout the rest of the day, I've really spent a lot of it, almost all of the day, really realizing that, we are born into this world alone. We come alone. We are introduced to a family. We're socialized by a family. Hopefully we're loved by a family. But we're still and always ultimately alone with our own selves, alone with our own mind, our own heart, our own feelings and thoughts and everything that creates our reality. But there are times you'd like to think that you have close, that your close relationships could be close enough for the most difficult of times, But honestly, the most difficult of times are just for you. No one can say or do anything. You are the one that ultimately has to reconcile everything within yourself. And whether you have people to care for you or coddle you or pet you or pity you or whatever it is you want or looking for, or even if you're just looking for companionship and camaraderie, ultimately and in the end, we are here alone. And yet we're never alone. The Father's always with us. And what if that weren't true? What a miserable feeling that was when I didn't know that. But all the choices that come up, I can talk to my children about it. I can talk to my mother about it, my friends about it. But ultimately, and in the end, every choice is yours and has to be yours and has to be fully coming from within you. And that takes a lot of digging, which, I'm still digging things out for sure. A lot of things that I didn't really know that I identified with, I'm finding out that I do. I'm finding out a lot of things about, when you look back on your life, things you did, things you said, um, just I can look at all these things that was done through Spirit, and I didn't know it. Like naming my children. I didn't know, I didn't even know, I didn't look up their names. But they're so significant. And I didn't plan that. I wasn't thinking about, Holy Spirit, what do I name my children? I wasn't back then. I didn't get it. I didn't know I could hear from God. I didn't know God speaks to me back then. And so all these things I did, all these, you can even look at like addresses where you lived, or I saw a little picture that my daughter and I should put that on, but my daughter and I colored when she was little, and the name of the picture it was something like, it's on my refrigerator right now. It's 15 years old, and it says, "We are the children of light," or something like that. And it's it's little stick people, little stick kids. But anyway, just things that I can look back and see how I can see it all when I didn't see it going forward. From here I can see it all, even things that were random, seemingly random. I don't have a fire, I have a smoke. I have a smoke out. Anyway, those are my potatoes, guys. Aren't they doing good? And I got some peppers over there. I'm just still working on a lot of things. I don't have the physical strength to do much right now, but I'm doing what I can, just out on the deck and a little bit around the house. So just back to the alone thing. Ultimately every choice is yours alone. And today I talked to a lot of people about what's going on with me. Not a lot, but several. And it was really hard to talk to them about it. But even after I talked to them about it, and all the the kind words and the advice and the prayers and everything that anyone had to say, certainly took it in and take it in, but it just has rang out to me all day long. The choice is mine. Everything is my choice. I want to do the will of the Father. I want my life to serve the purpose of the will of the Father. That's what I want. But everything will ultimately be my choice. And there'll be no one here to make it with me. No one can make it for me. No one can make any choices for you. You were born here alone with Christ inside, and all of our decisions are our own, all the way up into the last one. And yes, that's how it actually is on the inside. But it really is the way it is anyway. Well, my dad had cancer, and they gave him 3 to 6 months to live when he first discovered how bad it was. And he didn't want to be told how long he had to live. So we didn't tell him, the doctors didn't tell him what his expiration date was. And he lived for 2 years rather than 3 to 6 months. I mean, a lot of things worked for him, his therapy and everything. But also, he didn't know he was supposed to die in 6 months. You know, and that people can definitely plant that stuff in you. And so anyway, the point I'm making with him is he did live that long because he wanted to. He did not want to die. My father wanted to stay with us. He loved us so much, and he was really the glue in the family. He was the one that took care of everyone, absolutely everyone. He was surrounded by women. You know, he had 3 daughters, a wife, 2 sisters, and a mother to care for, and he cared for all of us. And he did so unconditionally and from his heart. And that's pretty rare. I'm grateful that I had a father like that. But his last year, 9 months to a year, he spent a lot of time alone because my mother had to work. She carried the insurance, and so she had to work. I would come and take care of him on and off, but I was in and out. He had retired from, he had taken early retirement at, I guess 62, and he had been retired less than a year when he found out about his cancer. So he was retired, and he didn't have really anything that he needed to do or could do, really. So he was alone a lot. He was alone a lot at home, waiting on my mom, waiting on me, waiting on whatever, waiting. And I can't count the number of times I went into the house. I opened the door, and the bedroom was immediately to your right. And I just turn around, and he would be sitting on the edge of the bed facing the wall, and just sitting there all the time, alone. And he wasn't upset, he wasn't crying, he was just lost in thought. He was thinking, he was, you know, I don't know what he was doing, but he spent a lot of time like that, alone. And so ultimately, that's what happens, you know. We will be left to ourselves to deal with whatever we have to deal with. And it can be, I think it can probably be very lonely, a very, very lonely journey when it gets really super tough like that. And I feel that today. I felt the love of everyone I talked to. But then when it's all said and done, here I am. And it just goes to really show you there is no peace anywhere but with the Father. There is no peace anywhere else in this world. There's no satisfaction to be gained. There's no way to be filled up from the world. It has to come from within you, where love already is. It has to come forth from you. You cannot receive something that you're not giving. It has to come from you. So everything is an inside job, right? It all is. Head to toe, the whole thing. The whole, kit and caboodle is head to toe. You're the only one that controls it all. Or control is a hard word, but in terms of rising above the anger, the bitterness, the unforgiveness, you have to examine you inside out and get rid of those things. Find where they came from. You have to trace them back to where they came from. Recently, I had, I found something that I really wanted to deny bothered me, and it had to do with worthiness. And it was something my father said to me when I was a teenager. Now, just think about that. I just told you he was unconditionally loving to me, would do anything for me, was always there for me. I knew as long as my daddy was in the world, I had nothing to worry about. I always knew that. But when I was a teenager, he said something to me about a date, about a boy, I don't remember what it was, that put unworthiness in me. Just a comment. He didn't mean anything by it. It wasn't. But I'm going on 50 and realizing that has kept me feeling unworthy of certain things, it's kept me from the fullness of being worthy. And I've held on to it this long because I didn't want to hold it against my dad. And I don't hold anything. I know he didn't even mean what he said the way, if he knew that I had carried it this long, it would kill him. So there's just so many things that you have to peel back. And I've been doing this for years, y'all. I've been looking at me like every little thing, looking at me, what I've done, what I've said, the way I've been, what I need to change. I've just examined myself to death. I feel like. And yet there's still, I still found that. And I'm sure there's more. I'm not, there's no way that other things that have been said, it's something that little that I'm remembering at 50 years old. There are other things, I'm sure, that got into me, words that got into me that I believed and maybe still believe. And so I'm still looking at that, because you have to. And it's just all part of the alone thing. I have lived alone for many years, but in particular, my teenage son coming and going. For the past 3 years, I've pretty much been alone. Just 24/7, being in this space, trying to figure these things out. Going through all the things you go through when you first start, to wake up and realize what's going on in the world and the lies, and then you move on to the problems with religion, and then it's just one thing and leads to another. But all the while, I knew I had to change inside me. It wasn't the outside showed a lot about what I needed to look at inside, which is, I guess, the goal or the way this thing works. So anyway, I don't really know what I said to you tonight. I mean, mainly what I wanted to talk about is that it is a personal journey. We are one with individuality, that each of us have a particular aspect we have to play and be and walk as. That's different for each of us, and what it comes down to is whatever it is you think you're doing for everybody else, it has to all be from the inside. You have to come at it from the inside, not from what you want to do with the outside world. And that's what I've got today. I feel lonely, but I know that, which is weird, I'm not a lonely person. I haven't been lonely in years. I don't ever feel like, I don't want to be alone. I generally enjoy being alone, but my fire's gone out. But with everything right now, that I feel like, everything on me in terms of my health, I feel alone. I feel lonely. And that's okay. Because we are all one. And we are also here alone. We're so many things, right? Alright, that's enough. My fire's gone. I did a bad job video, and I do have a what's that called? I don't know what that's called, but it's a little lantern, and it's really handy. I've got my lamp going. Anyway, I love y'all. Hope you have a great evening, and hopefully we'll talk again soon. Alrighty, bye-bye.